my mentor in dressage who got me into this, she had Robert Dover in her pony club back in the day.
Wow.
She was in Wellington before Wellington knew.
Before it was Wellington.
Yeah. I was an exercise rider, thoroughbred racehorses.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I met her. And, but anyways, she would talk to me about breathing. So she took lessons with, alongside of Ann Gribbons. She bought the schoolmaster. So we're talking way back when.
No, that's cool.
But she said about the breathing. Do you know how many years I taught? What?
Right.
No.
I know how to
Now
breathe.
I'm like, okay, Bowie, I breathe, Bowie.
Right.
But I've conditioned him to ignore everything that I do because, I'm not a forceful rider by any means, but I didn't do that. But it's true. So she would tell me the breathing of the canter to part, of the exhaling to, it's a downward transition.
Yep.
An upward transition is breathing in, and I'm like,
It's
it didn't
mind
even go into
blowing
my
how
mind
simple it is
when she
though.
told me.
Well, it could not be
Breathing.
that
I
easy.
do that all
Right.
day.
And that connected. It's not that connected.
It couldn't all come back to the same place.
It can all
To
be
something
interconnected.
so simple as water, as breath, as energy, or it can.
I think it does.
Right.
That's the big picture here that we have to all find. That's our journey.
And what can we do in our breath, in our modalities, in our interaction with our horses to relax them, to make this enjoyable for them, to relax ourselves, right? And just make it a pleasant experience. It doesn't always have to be,
Right.
One of the hard things that I've struggled with, you can't have that high level of expectation out of your horse and not number one, they have to be conditioned so that their muscles can actually relax when they're doing their job. I think that people, trainers, sometimes I think that gets lost a little bit in the translation, that they're not as honest with the students. I find that true, that you can ask, but you're not going to get it, and you probably are going to hurt your horse in some form or fashion. And if the horse doesn't want to do it, it's not because they don't want to do it, it's just because you just don't ask often enough with the condition added to it. And I think that can be problematic.
Do you think they're not understanding, or you think that you're not asking the right way, or what do you mean?
No, I just think that sometimes our level of it's kind of like what you were saying with the same thing with me with Bowie when I was working full time, is that you have to be aware that you're limited to perfection as a dressage rider, to training level, whether or not I have a third or fourth level horse.
Sure.
Because your horse is only conditioned for a certain level, because you only have that much time now. If we all had $1 million trillion in the bank and we had a trainer,
If only.
to ride our horse 5 days a week,
Sure.
so we could go have the whatever, that kind of a scenario, but that might not be. I think sometimes, me included, you have that level of expectation, but the conditioning is not there.
Sure.
And I think sometimes, whether it's relayed or not, as whether it's the trainer or the student, I wish that people would understand that them asking, it's not their horse saying no.
Right.
It's that their horse can't consistently say yes.
Or if they're not consistently working their horse, then like you said, the horse isn't conditioned to give them the yes. We have boarders that, one in particular, as an example, she works a full-time job. Since COVID, she's traveled out of state to see family. She also runs a rescue full-time. So this woman is busy. Heart of gold, will drop anything at midnight and drive 4 hours to pick up a pack of puppies, right? Because they need her, and that is what she will do. So what takes the back seat is her horse, because she knows he's good. We've got him. He's ours, and we will care for him like he's ours. So then when she does have the time to come out here, and it's like, let's canter in the arena, and he says, I don't think so. She doesn't have an enjoyable ride with her horse because he's not conditioned to give her that yes. Now, if you're a boarder here, you have the option, assuming I have a good fit, to put your horse in the grounded horsemanship program, right? I need more horses than I have for these women. So then Samson is now in our program. Samson is now getting worked with 3 times a week. He's consistently being worked with. He knows what's expected of him. Now Angela comes out to see her horse, and it's, hey mom, let's go for a ride. Right? It may not be the yes every time, but he's more willing. He's more conditioned to give her what she wants because he's being worked. So I don't care if you don't have time to get out and work your horse. If somebody can come out, and I see exercise riders all the time, assuming you screen them and they know what they're actually doing. I can't emphasize that enough.
That's a huge one.
But
Yeah.
set your expectations for what your horse can handle. If you can't consistently work your horse, then don't come out once every 4 months and say, all right, let's go for it, and expect a yes ma'am. I guess there's horses that will and can do that.
But I think it goes back to the mirroring piece too, that really you cannot have an expectation of performance of the horse that you are not conditioned to do that. Right. You have to have this, you have to offer the mirror.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it sounds to me like your grounded horsemanship program is exercising and engaging these parasympathetic nervous system, good muscles. Yeah. So that horse is then conditioning those muscles to a level.
Yeah.
But the owners, the people, they have to also engage that in their mind, in their body, in all of themselves to get that sort of performance, or they're putting negative back in that horse. Because I know as horse trainers, because my husband and I both are, that's all we've ever done. Mm-hmm. It was so frustrating to us, like, why can I get on your horse and I can do these things? And then I can step off and put the person on there and I can tell them everything I think that I am doing and they cannot do it at all. Yeah. Well, I started noticing, I actually have a mental picture. And somehow these horses see my mental picture. Exactly. I do it in my body and they feel of it in my body. My horse
energy is different. Your expectation is different.
Exactly
and my horse is as limited as I am. Yes. And so if I ride your horse, I could probably get it to do lots of stuff. But if you, as an owner, don't come out and we got to get you organized, it's not gonna stick.
Right. And we're different.
And when I
of course we are.
Job, I don't know if I made a post about it, but I was overwhelmed with an amateur. What an amateur does. I was overwhelmed because you read the stories and chronicle the horse, but until I took a bite of that pie, and then I didn't get to ride, and then I had to choose because I have 4 horses. So I had to choose which one to ride. Who's more important? What?
Right.
Who knew?
Right.
Who knew? But on the other side of it, I had to, the other thing is when I gained even more weight than I have now, I had to go, my horse is only going to go as good as I am at that time. Yeah.
And that's okay.
And everybody's like, well, you should do this and you should do this. And I said, you know what? You're right. I should. But I can't right now. Well, you can't say I can't. Yeah, I can, because it's a fact. Because I can't. Yes, I can in my mind. I got it all down pat. But if I can't do walk canter transitions, and if I lose my core, and I'm being somewhat sloppy, I'm sorry, I'm not putting myself down. Just stating the fact.
Yeah, being realistic.
Real. For right now, and it's okay. And if you stay at 3rd level for 20 years and you never get above that, and I now have 4 grandkids, I don't have to tell my life story to everybody who is an amateur or not an amateur, because I think we can be so judgmental.
Absolutely.
Which goes back to energy. We all want to be around a horse. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's being real.
It's being real, and I would rather be real.
Yes, hallelujah.
Right?
Just tell me where I'm at, and if I stay at training level, and my horse is 16. I've had him since he was 2.5. And I looked at him and I was like, oh my gosh, he's 16. And I didn't post that. Is that not terrible? It almost makes me cry.
No.
Why didn't I post that?
That he was 16?
Why? Because I don't want to be judged.
Yeah, that's a judgment piece.
That's my energy right now.
But we have to just keep working on that. Yeah. We just have to keep working, and it's okay wherever we are.
Like that, but I
am. None of us are. I struggle with that all the time. This alone, putting myself out there like this, to have people go, you're an idiot, you're stupid, you're whatever. Not that anyone has said that, but they could. Yes. And I don't want to hear that, right? This is a big step for me to say, I'm doing this. Yeah. This is good for me.
I know, my husband said you were going to cancel. My husband said I was going to cancel.
Well, and you never know.
I know.
Never know.
And mine was like, what the heck are you doing? I was like, I'm going to do this campfire thing.
Wonderful.
Well, what is it on? I don't know. Where is it going to be? I don't know. And it was like, really? I was like, She asked me to do it. She sounds really cool. I was like, I'm doing it.
I love it.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, exactly. But it's so hard to step outside of that. Same with the grounded horsemanship. Same with everything that I post, right?
Yeah.
Anything you post, especially nowadays, someone's going to judge you
Yes.
and say you're wrong, you're stupid, you're fat, you're green, whatever. And it's like, you know what? How about we're all awesome?
That's right.
We all have something
That's
to
right.
contribute. And if you don't agree, you have
It's
the option to
okay.
keep scrolling. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
And I will say that sometimes in a post, this may not apply to you. Keep scrolling.
Yes.
It's okay to not comment and tell me how stupid I am or how against your beliefs I am or whatever.
Right.
It's okay.
I'm just glad.
And you have an option to say block.
Unfriend, unfollow, block. You got options. But do not comment on my post and be nasty about it because guess what? I'll just delete it.
I delete it and I
Fine,
block
and
you
block.
after you. Like, guess what? This is not your place.
No.
You need to go visit somebody else's page.
Yeah.
I
I
just
love
was just
having
really happy
friends.
that he was
What, your husband?
sound and looks as good as he does.
Well, hallelujah. And see, that's an inspiring
But he's had
thing.
so
That
many, you've had struggles with him over the years, right? Where it's like this struggle or that struggle.
The hind
He's
gut, for sure.
16,
Oh my gosh, I
and you're
struggle
still
with that.
at it. That's amazing.
Well, my horse too.
Yeah.
He's 21, and this
Yay.
past year
See?
had arthritis. We've kind of come to. He's got some start of ring bone in the front. He's got hocks that have had arthritis for the
He
past couple
decides
years.
not to eat sometimes and makes
Yeah,
me hand
well-
feed him because he's an ass.
Well, it's because he likes to be spoiled, and Auntie Amy just knows how to spoil him. And and he's metabolic.
Yeah.
And there's issues, and he's getting older, and it's coming to terms with, I have this older horse. This is what the horse I have now. I love him. I've had him for 10 years. I'm going to keep him and
Yep.
take the best care of him possible.
Yep.
And continue to learn, which I love all this stuff. Like light bulbs are going off like crazy. I'm
Yeah.
surprised
I
you
know,
didn't
me
light up
too.
this whole place.
You kind of are.
Yeah, okay. And but it's the challenge, and there's sometimes I look at him and I think he just looks so amazing. He's my horse, and I just love him. And then I think, should I post that picture? And then it's on
Yes.
judgment on me. I'm looking
right?
at me too, and I'm like, oh, that's not a good picture of you. You look so old. Oh my gosh, you've had some wrinkles. Well, you're 55. Well, you know
That's
what?
okay.
Thank God I made it this
Own it.
far, right?
Yes.
Well, hallelujah for that.
Right. And so it's
Every
that criticism
single day
that you were
exactly
talking
is a
about.
gift.
Yeah.
Own it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm
seriously.
working. I'm working on that. But
Yeah.
I totally feel for what you said, and I do it to myself.
Well, but how many of us are imperfect?
That's what
Every
I
single
know.
one
Aches
of
and
us.
pains.
Every single one of us. And really, like, I listen to you and I look at my own horses and I think sometimes we get the horse that we want, but a great part of the time we are going through these cycles in our life, and this horse will bring you to new reality. You'll learn something because of that horse that will change your life, and you'll grow from it.
Every horse we've
amazing.
ever had out here has taught us something, be it good or bad, do or don't do something, and we've learned from it and we've grown from it.
I started training with Arthur Kotas in 2000. Arthur Kotas Heldenberg, and he was a first chief rider of the Spanish riding school
Wow.
in Vienna, and I
Wow.
started in 2001, and in Gordonsville, Virginia.
Really?
Yep. And I traveled up there. That was when I didn't even know how to sit the trot. I was so tense as a rider. I had beer set up beside my arena to make me relax. I was desperate.
Sounds normal.
I was right.
No, I'm loving this story. Keep going.
So he said that life will teach you about horses, and horses will teach you about life.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I have never forgot that. Whether it was penned by somebody else, but that's where I personally first heard it, and it's made a huge impact on me.
Love it.
That's awesome. I
That
love
is.
that.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Very
wonderful.
cool.